My student kept crying only in math, and meeting her parents made me realize why. I teach 10th grade math, and I had a student named Sarah who would start crying out of nowhere. She wasn't lost or failing. She was actually really good. She'd solve an equation, check it twice, and then her hands would start shaking. She'd stare at the numbers, breathing fast, and tears would roll down her face. The first time, I knelt by her desk and asked if she was okay. She nodded, wiped her cheeks, and tried to keep working like nothing happened. After it kept happening, kids started whispering that she was weird, and some avoided sitting near her. I tried the usual stuff. I moved her seat closer to me. I offered extra help. I told her she could take a quick break if she needed it. None of it stopped the crying, and it only happened in math. She'd cover her face with her hoodie and pretend she was reading. The tears still leaked through. I even tried giving her simpler problems for a day, thinking she was overwhelmed. She solved them fast, then cried even harder, like the easier work proved she couldn't escape it. On quiz days, she'd ask to use the bathroom, then come back with wet sleeves and act like nothing happened. It got worse on timed work. The moment I said, "You've got 10 minutes, her face went tight, like she was bracing for a hit. One day she shot up so fast, her chair screeched and ran out, leaving her backpack on the floor. I found her in the hallway by the lockers, shoulders curled in, eyes red, refusing to explain. Back in class, she could still ace quick questions, but tests were a disaster. It wasn't the skill, it was the pressure and the numbers. I kept tissues on my desk and gave her extra time, but she still kept breaking down. Then during one episode, she leaned close to me and whispered through tears, "I'm sorry. The numbers make me think of him." Before I could ask who she meant, she grabbed her stuff and bolted again. That line stuck with me because it didn't sound like normal nerves. It sounded like a memory she couldn't turn off. 2 weeks later, parent-teacher conferences came around. Sarah's parents walked in looking calm and polished, like they were here for a business meeting. I explained that Sarah was bright, but she was having intense crying spells in math, and I asked if anything at home might be feeding it. Her dad gave a small shrug and said, "Oh, the crying thing? She's been doing that since her brother died." He said it like he was talking about a broken phone screen. Her mom added, "Car crash last year." Then she glanced at her watch. I checked her file again in my head. There was nothing about this. No note, no support plan, nothing. I asked, was she close to him? Her dad said, she was helping him with algebra right before it happened. They were at the kitchen table. Then the hospital called. Her mom said, flat and quick, "So now she links math with him." I waited for them to say they'd gotten her help. Instead, her dad leaned forward and said, "We've told her she needs to be over it. She can't cry every time she sees numbers. That's not how life works." Her mom nodded and said, "If she starts crying about missing him, we send her to a room until she can act normal again." Then her dad said, "We even got rid of his stuff. Keeping reminders just makes it worse." My chest went tight. I said, "She's 15. This isn't a switch you can flip." Her dad's smile got sharp. "Look," he said, tapping my grade sheet, "just handle it in class. Take points off when she disrupts. If crying gets her out of work, she'll keep doing it." For a second, I couldn't talk. I could hear other conferences happening through the walls. I finally said, "I'm not punishing her for grieving." Her mom frowned like I'd insulted her. "So you'll just let her derail your class?" I said, "I'll keep her safe and get her help. That's my job." They stood up like the conversation was done. Her dad said, "Just get her back on track," and they walked out. As soon as the door shut, I called our school psychologist and our counselor from my desk. I also looped in my assistant principal because Sarah needed real support fast. The next day, before class started, I asked Sarah to step into the hallway with me. She looked like she expected me to scold her. I said, "You're not in trouble." Her eyes filled up right away. I told her, "I know math is tied to something painful for you, and we're going to make a plan." She swallowed and whispered, "I don't want to cry in front of everyone." I said, "Then we'll give you a quiet way to pause, breathe, and come back." When we walked back in, I started class with a short writing warm-up instead of problems. Sarah's shoulders dropped a little as she wrote. Then I placed a half sheet on her desk with just 3 questions and sat nearby, not hovering, just there. She took a shaky breath, wiped her face once, and set her pencil down on the first line. Now her parents are saying I babied her by getting help. Was I wrong?